sometimes I like to just try things. This lighting's probably terrible. If you like crafting, you might want to subscribe. Today I'm Mod Podging paper to itself. So I'm going to start with this paper, and we're going to get it about the size of a regular sheet of office paper. I'm just going to put some Mod Podge on, put another piece on, put some more Mod Podge on, put another piece on, continue the process. It's kind of ripped into shreds. It's a paper I use for actually doing Mod Podge and decoupage on other projects. I got this paper out of a ugly produce package that mail order discarded grocery produce box thing. So here we go, getting closer, trying to make sure I don't go in any kind of solid pattern, so I'm just kind of random, sort of building towards the end of my sheet and making sure that I get to the size that I need. When I got to the edges, I kind of wanted to make it sort of straight. I didn't want a big giant curve, so that was the thought process anyway. And then I got, close. Thought I could do better than that. There we go. So now I'm just going to put Mod Podge over the whole entire thing and get it really good and covered, because I wanted to make sure, for one, that there wasn't any little edges sticking up anywhere, and also it had this very grimy kind of feeling to the paper, so I thought Mod Podge over the whole entire thing. Then it'd all feel like dried Mod Podge. So that's what I did. And then I let it mostly dry and then peeled it away from this silicone mat. And that's when I noticed that it really had quite a bit more drying to do. I did get this little hiccup there, so I smushed it back down. It turned out okay. But you can still see some white of the glue, so it definitely has some more time to dry, and some of these spots are really still pretty dark. So I went ahead and put it to the side and let it go ahead and fully dry. And I came with this. Now, I wish I would have left it on the silicone mat and just let it completely dry there, because it does have kind of a little ripple effect to it, but it still turned out pretty well. I kind of like it. It's got a lot of depth and texture to it. The wrinkles and the rips of the paper took on the Mod Podge in a way I really like. So now I'm going to do some tissue paper. And I have a regular thin tissue paper, and then this whitish gray that's that little bit of thicker tissue paper. So first I'm just going to take this brown and cut it to approximate size of just a regular sheet of letter paper. So here's my trusty stencil there, and I'm just going to get close. I'm not looking for perfect here. So I get my brown cut down to that. For this gray, it's at an awkward size, so I just went ahead and opted to cut a quarter of it off and use that. So it's going to be just this square instead of an office letter size paper. That's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get the Mod Podge going on this one. Now this is tissue paper and it is delicate. And so especially this initial coverage fought with me to stay straight, and I was very concerned about ripping the paper. I mean, you can't tell my concern from how much I'm pulling it up and moving it around, but I actually was concerned, yes, of ripping the paper. Even though I had another 3 sheets to practice with, but then, you know, I try to stick it to itself, so why not? But anyway, I just Mod Podged it really good down on the paper, trying desperately hard not to get wrinkles in it at all. I felt if a wrinkle came with the Mod Podge, it would be a permanent situation. So again, I'm messing with it way too much, and finally can feel somewhat satisfied and just Mod Podge the whole thing. Okay, we're going to move that and let that dry and come and do the brown. Now, even though the brown was thinner, it actually seemed to be a little bit easier to do on this first round. I think maybe that's because the Mod Podge went all the way through the tissue paper very fast and just kind of stuck it to the silicone, and it did it in a way that there wasn't a lot of wrinkles, so I didn't have to move it and mess with it as much. It's just my theory in watching the playback. So there we go on the brown. Get ourselves a good nice coat and let that one dry. Okay, here we go, peeling this off. Now I learned my lesson and I waited for this to dry really well. You can see it's kind of turning transparent a little bit, so I thought, well, let's put more Mod Podge on the other side and see how that looks. So that's what I did, and it was far easier to do this. It had a little more stiffness to it after having one side done. So the Mod Podge went on a little bit easier. Found bits of dried Mod Podge that I'm picking out. And so just get a nice good coat over the whole entire thing. And I tried to do a nice feather so there wouldn't be any clumps of podge after it dried. Here we go with the brown, the peel away. Oh, so that is satisfying to watch to you too. Nice. Alright, here we are. You can kind of see through it. Like it. So, almost transparent. Let's Mod Podge the other side. So here we go. Another coat of Mod Podge. And far easier to put on. Far faster, even though I am sped up. And again, I'm doing a feathering action so I don't leave any clumpies. Even though I'm trying to glue the paper to itself. Apparently. I did not succeed though, thank goodness. Alright, fast Mod Podging again. And a feathering action. Okay. So, here we go. Well, here I say that, and am I ever going to quit Mod Podging this page? There we go. Here we are, back to the gray. We've dried completely again, and we're peeling away. You gotta be careful here. It felt like it was gonna rip. So I ran my fingers down the side of it to kind of release it. There we are. That's a little more transparent, isn't it? So I thought, surely, if that did that, let's do it again. I thought, okay, 2 coats makes it almost transparent. There's a little bit of a haze on it. So what's going to happen if we put a 3rd coat of Mod Podge back onto this tissue paper? Is it even tissue paper now? Can it even be considered tissue paper still, since it has all of this Mod Podge on it? What would you call it? Mod paper? Mod Podger? I don't know. Let's peel this brown off and see how it looks. It's so satisfying for it to come off of this silicone mat. Here we go. Very transparent. But let's just put some more Mod Podge on it anyway, because we don't want it to be jealous of the gray paper for getting more Mod Podge. So we're going to just make sure it gets its turn in the Mod Podge world. It obviously went extremely fast with this coat, as it was completely durable enough to hold up to the motion of a faster Mod Podge. So I'll just feather that out, let it dry. Here we are again, fully dry on our 3rd coat. And what do we have? We still have a haze on the gray paper, but it is much more transparent. But there is a slight whitish haze to it, and it's very rubbery. Let's see our brown. Very shiny. Peel it off here. Also very rubbery. And very, very transparent. Almost no haze at all. Okay, so it's going to be about a half a page like that fold. That's going to look great in our junk journal. Fantastic. Very happy with that. Very happy indeed. Alright, I went ahead and cut down the edges, trimmed it up a little bit. Have a little bit better light here. You can see what that looks like. And our gray now. That's nice. Let's see when we put something under it. I have this watermelon paper. And now you can really see that difference. You can really see all the way through it. Yep. Sneak attack. And so now the gray. Here we are. So if it's against white paper, you barely see that haze at all. That's nice. These are going to look great in our journal. Love it.
If you liked this today, please subscribe. I have more content coming for you, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. If there's something specific you want to see, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear it, and I would love to attempt to make it and let you know how it goes. I'll see you next time on Tevil's Treasures. Do you like crafting content? I'm blind now. I'm making Mod Podge. Gotta get some stretches in for crafting. Let's work out. Get limber. Let's get our craft on.